guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is episode 10. This is the round 2 preview show. I'm the host, Young Buck. With me today, I have Assaulter Sailor.
What's up? What's up?
Also with me, I have Dudley Do Right.
Hello, how's it going? Nice to be back.
That doesn't look like a nose, it looks like a dick.
Well,
Either one
That's
works for
what you want
Dudley.
it to be. That's what you want it to be.
not the first time that Faces is choked.
Speaking of faces,
I'm sorry. Too soon.
Mr. 8 Goals Against Average Faces is there.
No, it's Mr. Jump on the Grenade, all right?
And last but not least, we have Notorious Fat and his +1 today.
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah. Great.
Alright, so we're going to kick it off. We're going to start talking about round 2 preview. We're going to be sending it over to Dudley, who's going to break down the Rockford-Cleveland series.
Hi. Okay, so first of all, it's nice to be back. Just to clear up a couple things. One, I was not deported to Puerto Rico. That's impossible. You guys are dumb. And two, according to speculation, everyone thought I died at a Met game. No, I died watching Met games years ago, so you know I'm pretty much a shell of my former self. So, oh, and quick shout out to Huddy. He was bothering me because that kid has nothing else better to do with his life. So he just harassed me. He said, "Let me get a shout out on the show." Hi, Huddy. You're crazy. Go drink some sugar or something, or bleach, whatever. Okay. Anyways, moving on. All right. So we're going into round 2 here, and we have pretty much 2 of the big titans here in the West. You have Rockford. You have that team in Cleveland that nobody likes. Now, you want to look at the comparison. They both have equal shot percentage or shooting percentage. They have very equal time on attack, and they have very equal face-off percentage. Although I will say the difference is I do think that Cleveland has a bit of a better offense in this sense. It's going to definitely be a tight series here. I think the Rockford has the edge in goaltending because I think Augie is a really good goaltender, contrary to what many other people would think. But all in all, this series has the makings of being one that can either get done in 4 because one team decides to choke, hope it's Cleveland, or it's going to go to 7 because, you know, both these guys, they both have a lot of solid players. I think, personally, I think Pain Train might actually do well along with Augie. And I think the line of Average Boy and KSP, if that's his name, yeah, KSP, I think they will surprise everyone and actually make a big of a difference here. So I think this is going to go 7. I wanted to go 4 because I can't stand Cleveland. I'm not openly rooting. But I think this is going to be one to watch. And also, I think everyone wants both these teams just to explode because I don't think anyone really likes them. And I think Fourth Line is going to have to stop doing Seth MacFarlane impressions and try to win. So I think the series will go 6, and I think Rockford will take it in the end.
Fair enough. I know Fourth Line couldn't be on the show because apparently there's a superstition with him that back a couple weeks ago when he was on the show, they played Cleveland that week. He talked about that game coming up, and they lost to Cleveland. So he's got this huge superstition that they're going to lose if they play Cleveland, and when they play Cleveland this week, if he's on the show, so he's not here. Thoughts on this?
Did you know Sidney Crosby didn't touch the trophy when they won the Eastern Conference in the real NHL, and they lost. He touches the trophy twice, they win. Superstitions of bullcrap. You need to get good. I like your 4th, but that's just stupid.
All right, Faces, any comment on that series?
I didn't want to root for Cleveland, but their team's just all around better, especially with Augie. I think he's gone now. I think he's gone. Can't remember when he was leaving, but I'm pretty sure he was leaving sometime in August. So they're already down a goalie, and I hear they got some pretty shit availability in Rockford to top that off. So
Sounds like last season.
they're playing with the whole deck stacked against them. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it out.
Yeah. All right, Salty?
I'm going to have to disagree with Dudley on the KSP line. I don't think they did so well down the stretch. And given there's only going to be 4 home games and they only prefer to play home games, I don't see a likely scenario where they get 3 of the 4.
You disagree with me? You want to fight me about it?
Yeah. I'll have you deported so quickly you can't even give a top 10.
Okay, good.
You want the number for ice?
Free vacation.
I can give you the number for ice.
No, I'll call them myself. I'll find it.
While I am pulling for Rockford, I think they're going to do it in 7. It's going to be a tough battle, both teams.
Yeah, definitely. And Notorious, any thoughts on the Cleveland Rockford series before we move on?
Yeah. Just to touch on a few things that were said there. If you want surprises, number one surprise, I think you guys talked about already, is if the KSPU line plays anything but a home game, that would be a big surprise to me. I think as well, the goaltending is the thing to watch here. That is some pretty good goaltenders in the series. There's not going to be a night where you go like, oh man, we got a weak goalie here. So between Augie in 7th and Payne Train and Rocky Star, those are good goalies, right? Like for the most part. I do give the edge to Cleveland in the goaltending, just because I don't think 7th is quite on the same level as Augie, just a step behind. So 2 number 1 guys and a number 1 and a 1.5 over there in Rockford. So overall, I'm going to pick Cleveland. I just think that they are a strong team overall. There's no offense to 4th line. I know he got stopped by these guys last year, so it's going to be something he probably wants to not have happen. But I'm picking Cleveland. I'm going to pick Cleveland in 6.
Yeah, I'm of likewise opinion here. I want Rockford to win. Statistically, they're a great team. So is Cleveland. Cleveland is just all around a much stronger team, especially they've pulled it up down the stretch now that they've shown that they can compete. And even with the weaker defensive core that they do have, their goaltending and forwards are so strong that doesn't really make a difference. This Faces is said a couple times now over the last few weeks. And like I said, I want Rockford to win, but I have Cleveland in 6 or 7. Now we're going to move on over to Salty, who's going to be breaking down the Rochester and Binghamton series.
So this one, in my opinion, if not for the mega Cleveland-Rockford showdown in the West, would easily be the series to watch for the second round. They're both good teams, obviously. Binghamton coasted into the playoffs seemingly with questions on offense. They had Scrub Swede going IR, I believe, and something else with Kobe Flex, if I'm not mistaken. They're getting both of those guys back this round. Always good to get 2 good players back in the playoffs. What many expected to believe a tough series between Binghamton and Albany ended up being a manslaughter on the side of Binghamton. They made short work of Albany in 5 games. Now they get to move on to face another division rival in Rochester. First round, I added a couple of notes. My first round MVP for Binghamton was Darcy Kemper. Played 4 games, 3-1, had an 11-save shutout to clinch the series. My player to watch for them in the second round is going to be Garris. He only played 1 game, but he had 4 points. So it'll be interesting to see in a series, I believe, to go longer than 5 games, what he can provide.
Fair enough.
On Rochester's side, they clinched home ice pretty early and easily. They made it known what their goal was. Started the season 9-0, essentially running away with the division and the conference. They earned themselves a round 1 matchup with Utica. They were granted the easiest matchup of the playoffs, and they came out flat-footed and lost the first 2, which I'm sure many believe to make Rochester look soft. They ultimately rebounded and won the series 4-2. they're definitely gonna have their hands full with a much more talented Binghamton squad in the second round. Their first round MVP I gave to Ballsy. He only played 2 games, but I know game 4 I watched, and he was peppered with a bunch of shots, and that game could have easily went the other way. The player to look for in second round, I'm going to go with Banks. Didn't do as well in the first 2 games, but he rebounded that, come through with a 3-0 shutout in game 5, which essentially closed the series for them. Overall, Rochester won 3 of 5 games in the regular season. 3 of the 5 went to overtime. Binghamton only won 1 of those. Rochester won the other 2. Both of those games Binghamton won was a 4-3 and a 6-5, and 4 of the 5 games were at a score of 4-3. Overall, the matchup was really well balanced. The only stat that I took away of note was that Binghamton owned Rochester in faceoffs. Everything else was well even. Rochester had 20 goals, Binghamton had 19. Time on attack, shots, all that was pretty even. But I think Rochester's going to pull it out in 7. I'm sorry, Horvat. I know you were not begging for a vote, but I'm going to bank against you, pun intended there, as Banks is going to be my second round MVP. And my bold prediction is he has at least 2 shutouts.
Wow.
And Rochester takes it in 7.
Fair enough. Dudley, thoughts on this series?
Personally, I think Rochester will come out at the end. I just think Rochester has it in them. As much as they tend to complain, I think Rochester will find some way to squeeze through, as they have most of the season. You know, considering we've had my Manitoba team had a pretty good time against them, at least I remember. But I think they'll find the way to push through. I think so, and they'll probably complain about that too.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's all they do. Faces?
Depending on how good Reebok is, because I asked Horvat right away as soon as I saw it was this week that he was coming back, whether or not Reebok was actually gonna try at all. They kind of went off on bad terms at the end of the season. So depending on how he works with Ichi, they could take the series, because I know Rochester, if they think someone's bad, they won't even look twice at them. They'll just assume they're going to win the game. So it all depends on how Reebok's doing when he comes back, how the lines go together, because now they don't have to use 3 ECUs a week in Binghamton. I think I picked Binghamton in 7 just because of that reason alone. So I think Reebok, when he actually plays, is actually a pretty good, decent player, as long as he's not playing selfish.
All right. And Notorious?
Now here's my thoughts on it. Last week I was all gonna be about Binghamton, right? I was excited about it. I had Darcy picked as gonna be my star of the series, and then I heard a rumor about him falling off the wagon. And I switched my vote, and I have to apologize. I'm sorry, Binghamton. Okay, just accept me back. I'm sorry. Okay, so I got that out of the way. Rochester, on the other hand, they to me have taken on the persona of the bad guys that we had last year, right? We had those bad guys last year. Everyone hated on them. I think they're kind of doing that as well, and I don't know why, but I don't have a good feeling about that team. Is that a burger? Fuck. Okay. I was distracted. I'm okay now. I'm okay. So I have this bad feeling about them. I feel, I have nothing to back this up. I feel there's problems on that team.
It's the Zaka effect.
And I that's the issue. One of the big issues that, like, I don't understand this guy. Like, I've tried to play with him a little bit on the chat box and talk to him and stuff. He is, like, really angry with me for some reason. I don't know. He doesn't watch us, he says. I'm sure he'll get back to him. But he really is mad at me for some reason. I don't know. No one should hate me. I'm a nice guy. But for that reason, because I feel there might be some problems there, some turmoil that, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about it. I'm picking Binghamton. Number one, because I'm sorry about last week. Number two, because I feel there's problems in Rochester. So, taking Binghamton, I'm going to take them in 7.
All right.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
That's for Nebby. So
Another thing about Rochester is after those first 2 losses to Utica, they absolutely raged out. Thumbs went after everybody in the chat, told them to get their shit together. So there's a lot of egos there to keep in check. So I feel like if they drop, like if they go down 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-2, they're gonna play like a shit.
Yeah. No. Again, I agree. Rochester, they struggled at the beginning against Utica, and if they come out like that against Binghamton, I think they will be finished because Binghamton is a lot deeper than Utica was. And the fact that I know Utica has a couple strong players, and they had a couple key players that they lost at the end of the season, that Binghamton has a couple key guys that they can keep rolling despite what game it is. They line match really well. So I think Binghamton's got this in 6, and a key player that's going to play that is, as Mason said, is Reebok if he shows up to play. If not, Rochester's going to take this just as easily. Next, we'll head over to the West again, and we're going to go over to Faces, who has Tucson and San Diego.
Tucson and San Diego. So Tucson ended up getting pretty much the easiest matchup in the West with Texas, and they swept them instantly. No surprise there. But with their stacked D, they took care of Junior Hawks line, no problem. Like that line just got demolished both the games they played. So pretty good for Tucson. San Diego, on the other hand, one of their best players didn't play at all round 1. Cronwall, not a single game. I asked Cav what happened. He doesn't answer me, so I don't know if he's back this series. If he is, that helps him. If not, they're pretty much nailing the coffin already.
He's their best player.
Yeah, he's basically their best player aside from Buddy, but Buddy kind of scrub hunted to get where he was, so surprise, surprise. He did go 2-0 the first series, but that was against the third line of San Antonio, and then the first line they only won 3-2. But his face-off percentage at center was absolutely brutal in the first round. So that's going to be horrible, especially against a team like Tucson. If you give them the puck, they're going to do shit with it. I think in the first game he had a 20% on face-offs. In the second game he had a 36.4, and that's not something you want from your first-line center, especially against the third line of San Antonio.
No.
That's
and
pretty
if they're playing guys like Breezy, they're really screwed.
Yeah, because they have the Breezy line, and then they have Calgary Flames, and they have Stats. And those are 3 good centers that are going to win face-offs if you're just awful.
On the bright side, those face-off percentages are probably higher than that goalie's save percentage in a certain Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, I know Tater's pretty shit. No, but honestly, I think when you go to depth for both these teams, Tucson has a lot more depth thanks to Risto and his deadline moves, getting Motomizer and just everything else. And they also have a lot more chemistry with the Reebok line, or not the Reebok line, the Semp line with Breezy and Lorenzo, and then Zach Guy going back and playing with Brody. Like they played together last season. They might be at different positions for Zach Guy, but he still knows exactly how Brody plays. So that's going to be a key factor too.
Another thing is that Risto, despite not being the greatest defenseman himself, he plays with the Breezy line just so that way, and that offensive advantage, they're so defensive as well that it makes up for his lack of.
Yeah, so it's really good all around. I think depth-wise, they really have it. Whereas on the San Antonio or the San Diego side, their D after the first line and a half really falls off. You really don't see like a third line D-man that should be on the second line like you do in Tucson. So it kind of drops off there. Third line versus third line, I give that to Tucson hands down. Second line to second line, I think Tucson still pulls it out. It'll be a defensive battle for sure, but first and second line, Tucson's definitely got it on lock. Especially with their goalies, Tucson's built from top to bottom.
Both of Tucson's goalies are out this week.
Yeah.
Are they actually?
Yeah. PhD and Ranger are both gone all week. They're going to be ECUing goalies all week.
Oh, yikes.
They don't even have enough ECUs to do that. They have three amateur goalies they could use.
Forfeits in playoffs? That's unheard of.
Ouch.
So
Yeah, I
apparently
don't know.
they've got a plan in place. Like I've only heard what I've seen in the chat box, and I'm sure it's no big secret, but they do have a plan in place to cover those spots. So apparently they won't have issues. But those are two pretty good goalies. Trying to replace them in the second round of the playoffs, that's tricky.
That's
So,
tough.
Yeah, and I'm not
That should be
sure
interesting.
how it got leaked, but I'm pretty sure that probably would be something you don't want to have leaked.
No, that is.
I think it was Risto himself. He said in the manager chat that he knew one of them was going away and the other one just told him.
And I feel like, despite all that, they'll probably have them play one game if they possibly can. If they can get one of their starters to play in the first game, that's huge already.
Well, I know I saw PHJ in the chat box, I believe, yesterday. He already told his wife that if it goes to Game 7, he's driving an hour home just to play it. So
Yeah.
That's a good man right there. An hour drive, I'd do it.
if Tucson can make it to Game 7, I'm taking Tucson in 7.
Yeah. All right. Other thoughts?
I feel it's that's trouble for Tucson with the lack of goaltending. That's still a pretty good team in front of them, but I don't know what you're getting back there. It could be anything, right? So
Yeah, it's hard to say without knowing
I can't
who
feel
they're
good
getting.
about picking them. So I'm going to go with the Gulls in 6.
Yeah, I have to go with San Diego too. If you have, I learned the hard way. Goaltending is key. I had a similar problem where I had a goaltender leave for a week, and it didn't exactly bode well for us. So if you have two goaltenders, especially in the middle of the playoffs, that you have to kind of replace, I'm sorry. As much as I like Risto and the guys over there, I have to go for San Diego.
It's hard enough to replace one goalie, and now you have to
Yeah,
replace
you need
both of them,
two.
and they're both
Yeah,
top caliber.
Especially when there's no like IR system now, so you have the ECU
Yeah.
people instead of just
hmm
finding one on your training camp that can do the job.
And one that's eligible, mind you, because the playoffs is a whole different pickle. So
Maybe that's why Aristo's 7 hours away from his laptop. He's currently hanging himself because he has to do that.
what is he trying to like repress something? It's just hockey.
Well, I went against San Diego in the first round with San Antonio as my upset, so I'm gonna take Notorious's mantra here and that's the Cav and the boys, and I'll take San Diego in 6 as well.
I'm gonna stay with Tucson. I'm gonna go Tucson in 7.
Yeah.
Even with the goalies being gone, like I don't think they play a gigantic factor, especially when you got D like that back there. As long as you can get someone that's eligible and tell them to stand fuck still and not budge on cross or on short sides and shit, you should still be fine.
Yeah,
It's
but
not like goalie's
doing that, you might as well just burn it to the ground then, because you're taking a real risk there. Because 1 or 2 goals goes in, you know how EA is. Forget it.
Well, that and you talked about Tucson having such great defense, which is fine, but you automatically have to throw in 6 different goalies, none of which they probably have played with all season.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee they haven't played with a single one.
So as much as you look for chemistry on offense and 5 guys together, there's also the chemistry of defense and the goalie.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, your defensemen have to be comfortable with who's in net. I'll give you an example. My main goalie, Captain Turtle, was out for a week, and my defense, at least the good defense that I had, was having trouble with the goaltender because they just weren't communicating, and it really did cost us. It cost us a lot. And ironically enough, when Captain came back, we actually started doing a little bit better, but it was too late. So, if you're trying to throw in 6 random guys that you don't know in a playoff, like that's hard. That is tough because you don't know what they're going to do. You get used to what a goalie does, how he makes saves, how he's going to approach something, and sometimes he'll communicate with you if he's not a bit of a prude, he'll tell you what's what. And, you need that. Everyone's got to play as a unit. There's got to be some kind of cohesiveness with the unit. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's tough. It's hard. Very, very hard.
I can speak as a defenseman. There's only a handful of goalies I've ever played with that, whether it's on a mini breakaway where I've caught up to the person and only force them to one side, and the goalie still gives up the short side. And
Yeah.
it pisses me off beyond belief because it's just like, where are you going? I forced them to one side, and you still come off the post. Like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I've been yelled at twice this season by Titus for doing that exact
I
thing.
can't tell you how many new goalies I've played with in club or Friday Night Puck or whatever, and it's just hard. You cannot build chemistry in one game with a goalie you've never played with.
Nope, not at all.
Yep.
So,
another thing they should probably shed light on is the ECU system. I feel like you should bring IR call-ups back just for playoffs.
Yep.
For situations just like this. Like one ECU game per fucking series is just not enough if a guy is on IR all week.
Yeah, especially during summer season, because this is
Exactly.
when people just decide to start having vacations out of nowhere. It's like, hey, on Sunday night, hey, guess what? I'm not going to be here for a week. Okay.
I mean, it's good for Rissa that he at least had advance notice. He could at least try out all the goalies and see who's ass and who's not, but still a shit situation.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, we'll send it over to Notorious, who's going to recap our last series, which is the Providence versus Hartford series.
Yeah, so we had Hartford and Providence. So meet up in the second round here. Hartford beat Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the first round, a 4-3 series, and Providence also in 7 games. They beat Hershey. Hartford is the 3rd seed and Providence the 4th seed. So they both knocked off higher ranked seeds to move on. It's pretty impressive.
And Hartford did it while I was on IR.
Well, it looked like you were on IR.
but to be fair, though, Hartford and Providence were both 1 and 2 seeds at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah, we both just choked in weeks 7 through 9.
Those teams easily could have been interchangeable 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Well, it was
not Providence, but yeah.
So Providence, in the first round there, they registered 2 shutouts, both by killer shots 6-7-8-4, which I called. They allowed 21 goals and scored 22 in that first round. So pretty tight. It was a close series. As I said, they went to 7 games. The community voting was also overwhelmingly in favor of Hershey. So Providence fought through that adversity to move on, and they take on Hartford, who also had some issues of their own basis. But they allowed 25 and only scored 23. So to me, that is difficult. Like, how do you move on when you allow more than you score? That's pretty odd.
Because Faces led in 16 and 2.
Well, I was going to get to it. Thanks for spoiling it, Buck.
You still have your coach nearby?
They managed to get by Wilkes-Barre Scranton, despite the fact that Faces sort of collapsed during the playoffs. What really happened?
Did we mention Faces messed up?
Honestly, the beta came out, and I went over my own game film, and I asked Tater what the fuck.
You started playing too much.
I started playing too much forward, and then I watched some of my game film. I'm just playing way too fucking high.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
As was mentioned, he did allow 16 goals, and that's in 2 games, which is not good.
That boils over to an 8 goals against average for those of you watching at home.
That is some quick math. Thank you very much, Salty. And I still say hashtag goalie controversy in Hartford.
What was that save percentage like, anyways?
You know what? I don't know. What was your save?
Hang on, let me open it up for you.
You've got it ingrained, I'm sure.
I'm gonna cut you off right there, Notorious, because I have a special shout out from Tatar to you, and he would like me to let you know to make sure I tell you that there is no goalie controversy. I'm the clear number 1, and to tell him, I told him he chose the wrong bandwagon because he said he's riding Wilkes-Barre throughout the playoffs. Send him much love from me.
Yeah, that was 2 years in a row they have disappointed me. I don't know what it is. It's the snappy jerseys. I guess I just fall for them every year. I can't help myself.
That nice 63 points.
Yeah, let me throw this down for you guys. Since the beta came out, my save percentage in the last 5 games has been 60, 70, 58, 58, 66.
Wow, you're really shooting for the stars there,
this all on the fucking beta.
That is a bullshit.
I've got a new controversy. Faces is throwing the playoffs. Controversy.
There you go.
Show is
Perfect.
no longer
I'm not throwing the playoffs. I'm
leverage
just.
of Boston.
It's just like extreme training for my offense. You got to score at least 6 goals if you want to fucking have a chance at winning.
Maybe
I'm just preparing them for fucking the Central, okay?
Maybe Tatar was playing on Face's tag during the season and said, "Fuck yourself" for the playoffs.
So we get the second round matchup with Providence and Hartford. I feel that this could be a decent series because both teams are capable of winning games, right? Like both teams have proven that they can win games this year. Like I said weeks ago, I was really shocked that Providence traded Augie away and we're still able to manage to win games. I thought that was like the death knell. I thought it was like the dumbest move ever. But apparently they knew they had a couple guys already that could do the job. Maybe they got lucky. I don't know. So I look for this series as well to be a goaltending matchup. I think Faces is going to get his shit together. Yes? Okay. Maybe put the beta away because it ends on Monday or Tuesday.
8th.
It ends for you tonight. Okay? The beta is over.
It does not.
Put your shit together. Put the pads on. Get the fucking net and play the game. The other guys are depending on you, okay? So let's get it going. And I'm looking forward to a really good series. I am going to pick Providence. I'm sorry. I'm picking Providence because
What a leeway.
I was really
Builds up
looking
Face's
for
confidence and then dumps on him, just like Wilkes-Barre did.
Yeah. This is not good for you, Providence. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's not good at all. Snoopy
picking
and
Providence.
fucking notorious pick Providence. Rip.
And I'm picking them in 5 games.
Ouch.
5.
Are you one of 17 people to pick Providence? That's a bold
I have
strategy.
not registered to vote. I don't register my votes on there. I always forget to do it in time, so I just never do it.
Man.
So
Just for the audience, here, the vote is currently 67 votes for Hartford, 17 for Providence.
I guess I'd be in the minority.
Oh,
But
you're in the minority.
we'll see how it goes. Prove me wrong, Faces. Prove me wrong.
I can't do that. I'm fucking joking.
You're banking on Providence to beat Tatar 3 times.
Yes.
Basically, what it is.
Once.
Tater didn't play them at all season, though. I matched up every time, and every time they only scored like 2 goals.
I'm basing that opinion on the fact that I think Tatar has spent himself, or Tater, or whatever you want to call him. He has spent himself. I'm thinking he gets the 1 win. He takes 2 losses, and Faces takes 2 losses.
Ouch.
The main reason, again, being killer shot in the goaltending in Providence.
I feel they're hot at the right time, and they're playing as a tandem.
So,
I don't
what's
feel.
what's your bold prediction for Faces GAA this series? Over or under 8?
You know what? I think
over.
we can all shit on Faces all we want. It's fun. You know, he's generally an opinionated guy, but he's better than he's playing. Okay, it's definitely under. He's
Not
not
only
gonna-
that,
not
I
gonna
played
let him-
Providence 5 times this season, I think. And I think each time they only scored 2 goals. So
Yeah, he's not going to let in 8. These will be tight games. I'm not expecting like 8-6 games or anything like that. I'm thinking 3-2, 2-1 kind of 3-1 kind of situations. So Faces probably end up with a 3.5 sort of goals against average is what I'm feeling.
Well, in Faces' defense, luckily for him, his team did bail him out, so he does get a chance to redeem himself in round 2.
Yeah.
they didn't bail him. I
Yeah,
jumped on
put
the
the beta
grenade
away.
so we could put our first line there, okay?
Delete the
telling
beta.
yourself that. You have a grenade horn? Because that'd be awesome.
All right.
Jersey Shore style.
Oh my goodness.
Now that we're done with playoff stuff, we're gonna send it over to Dudley and his top 10 this week.
Oh, jeez. Okay, here we go. Okay, so before I start, I had another top 10 list planned, and it was pretty much just to make fun of the CHL show because they had Tristan, if that's the correct pronunciation of how we say it. And I was going to make a joke about, we don't need Tristan to make our show better, and what did I write about? Generally, dog houses are full of crap and all that stuff, but I said, no, they're not deserving of my jokes just yet, not yet, okay? We have to, focus on the real things at hand, like Notorious's weight and why Faces is so full of himself, that, right there.
Side note:
So-
he couldn't actually think of 10 things for the CHL show.
We'll do that next week or next time if I'm here.
I'll
If I
fool
haven't been-
myself
if-
because I'm the greatest player of all time.
With
Yeah,
that
right.
8 goals
Okay.
against average.
Yes. So tonight's top 10, ironically enough, is top 10 storylines for the second round of the playoffs. Drum roll, please.
No.
Thank you. Number 10, Darcy Kemper loses game because he's sober. Wait, take
I
this
can
off
see
my
it.
screen. Number 9, everyone is hoping Rockford and Cleveland disappear off the face of the earth. Number 8, Risto is too busy fixing his eyeliner for the show instead of dealing with his team.
Oh, is that why he's not here?
Please, it's
Probably.
Guyliner. Come on.
Number 7, San Diego has to actually play a real team.
Oh, shit.
Number
Superstitions.
6, Number 6, Spats Yo from Providence actually passes the puck. Number
man.
5, fourth line misses first 2 days of games after doing press as Canadian Seth MacFarlane. Number 4, Number 4, Faces loses a game, blames it on lag, defenseman, and the Ewoks.
Damn, Ewoks.
I would
Number
never blame it on
3,
Ewoks. They're too cute.
Number 3, Brody scores on a wraparound, only did it because he threatened to ban the other goalie. Number 2, Rochester wins a game, but they'll somehow find a way to complain about that too. And the number 1 top 10 storyline for the second round of the playoffs, who cares? You all suck anyway. Hashtag Manitoba for life. Yeah.
Oh.
That number 1 sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the
Just
point.
like your team.
That
That's the
sucked almost as
point.
much as Manitoba.
Did you get that damage deposit back?
No.
Did you scrub
Unfortunately.
all the awful out of that room?
Ah,
It's-
gosh.
I'm thinking about taking over Manitoba next season. Is there any more shit stains on the ice, or
No, I cleaned it all. You might want to
Crowd
consider
reaction.
bringing me in next season.
Boo!
Whoa.
Yeah, all that moose poop on the ice probably ain't good for it.
I ate all my White Castle. Damn, I ate all my White Castle. Crap.
Oh well.
That probably would have been a better number 1 than what you just gave us.
What, damn, I just ate all my White Castle?
Yeah,
That's the top storyline for round 2.
Maybe I'll save that one for next week.
number 1 storyline is Dudley actually gets deported to Puerto Rico.
Just an
Okay.
update on the Rockford and Cleveland series. Apparently, Augie is not going anywhere now. So he is
Oh.
there.
Yes. Now moving on, we're gonna go over to Salty with Salty's shoutouts this week.
All right, I got a couple new ones, and I got a few second appearances as well.
Oh.
First one goes to FTB Grizz, which is his second appearance on my segment, for being bigger than his team, relishing in his glory of being 1-0, while Charlotte went 1-4.
can we get a shout out to Charlotte's management for thinking Grizz played 2 games, so they didn't ask him to roster swap into the forfeit? Way to count, boys. Way to count.
My second one goes to Nasty 16, formerly Pasternak, also his second appearance, for now successfully having changed his gamer tag more times than games he's won this season. For those of you who don't know, he won 9 games with Syracuse, and this is now his 10th gamer tag change. So,
It's impressive.
number 3 goes to Junior Bills, AGM of Texas, for once upon a time telling me his team almost had a better record than my team, and then got swept by Tucson.
Dudley's like dying over there, muted.
Number 4 goes to Nightmare, GM of Lehigh, for telling me to enjoy my first round exit from the playoffs. At least I made the playoffs.
Oh shit. Yeah, didn't he choke? Like face.
Yeah,
in
he
the first
choked.
round?
Providence won like barely enough to get in the playoffs. Lehigh just did not win at all.
Fucking Dudley.
I think you're choking on your cheeseburger there.
I think he's choking like Manitoba, dude.
Okay, all right, I get it. My team sucks. Fine.
That's
You don't have to tell me. I know this.
Sucked. They're done.
Yeah, I'm gonna punish all of you guys by putting you on my team next season. So.
I've already been on your team, and then I ended up on Ottawa and then Vancouver. So
I already carried you. I can do it again.
No, you got that wrong. I carried you, Faces.
Okay, I had like triple your points, and we played the same games.
Yeah, but I was the one that made you get all those points. You
I
know
mean,
I'm correct on that.
from what I remember, Face's forfeit carried you to the second round.
Ah, that was fun.
All right.
That was fun.
Last but not least, my fifth one goes to Thumbs for being a class act. There are no friends come playoffs, but Thumbs put his friendship first. Game 6, I unfortunately had to forfeit. At 10 o'clock, I tried to be respectful, letting him know. He still offered to give me until 10:50. No better team to be eliminated by than Rochester, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it was Thumbs that did it, not Zach. He would have took that forfeit at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Thumbs is the
Still
GM.
honorable
He
move.
overruled the AGM.
Still honorable.
Very honorable. Moving on now. We've now finished our third week of Saturday Night Puck in the AHL and in the CHL. For those who don't know, Saturday Night Puck is a new feature to the site that Pastor Gaines Risto are working on as an additional league to play in, like Friday Night Puck, but this is just for AHLs and CHLers. And this allows the CHLers especially to actually have a chance to play and showcase what they can do and absolutely get shit on by AHL teams instead of just NHL teams. What are your guys' thoughts on adding this new league to the community?
I actually have an opinion on it. It's nice to see there's a place for guys to play. You know, it was just, you had Friday Night Puck, which was great for all us guys that didn't have a life or a girlfriend or have never seen a vagina before. But now you have Saturdays as well. So you're only lonely one night of the week now.
Wow.
If someone comes up with Sunday Night Puck or something like that,
What do you mean?
Jeez.
Sunday night they have LG. You're not lonely then either. You're
oh, that's
fine.
right. I forgot about that. Oh, 7
Yeah, well,
days
no
a week
one's
now.
going out Sunday nights, you know.
Virgins rejoice.
Yeah. No one's going out Sunday nights, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I had an instance on Sunday where I let two of my TC players I plan to use. I let them both know I was going to need them for one of two games in the first round, and one of them said he was unsure he'd be able to play when I needed him because his girlfriend was taking a shower, and if she got out and caught him playing, that was going to be the end of the game and his life.
Oh, what the fuck?
So
Yeah.
You, sir, need to man the fuck up.
Jeez, dude.
He clearly wears a skirt in that relationship.
I'm not gonna. That player's gonna rename.
No, come on. You got to give him his name after that.
But
Shout
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I only have a few.
They're not all good, the shoutouts. Some
I
of
only
them-
have a few eligible ECU players anyway. All you gotta do is narrow it down.
Oh, God.
Just message them. Hey, is your girlfriend gonna let you play tonight? Everyone that says yes, just nope, not him.
Yeah, honestly. No, I do like the fact that they introduced this to the league just because for Friday Night Puck, it being NHL, AHL, and like they add one CHL team and they match them up against the top NHL guys in the first game purposely, I believe, just to get them out there. Oh yeah, you can play and then get absolutely destroyed.
I believe they call that the reality check.
Yes.
I think
Gift that keeps on giving. You want to play? You want to play? Okay.
Get wrecked.
except for that one time there where they actually managed to destroy the NHL team and then everyone was blown away. But so that's
In all
that.
seriousness, though, it's good. It's a nice option. Gives the
Yeah.
the AHL and CHL guys a chance to sort of showcase themselves a little bit, get some extra competition in, maybe meet some new guys. It's a good system for that because we all know Friday Night Puck is dominated by the NHL guys. They look down upon everybody else, and the rest of us are not worth their time and not going to be picked up by them. So good on Pastor and Risto for doing this. Good Good idea.
No, it is a good idea. I
It's a
think.
good idea.
Because again, if you look at the NHL is a big boys club. It is, if you think about it. I've been up there, many times, and it's a boys club. So a lot of these, people of the boys club, which they're boys probably, they stay home on Friday or Saturday nights, and all they do is play Xbox, which it's not exactly fair to those who just want to hop in, because then you got you're practically playing club teams, and they just come and beat you up. But when it's Saturday Night Puck, it's kind of like a grab bag in a sense. So it kind of levels out the competition a little bit, which is fine. Personally, I don't really have the time nor energy to invest in stuff like that. But I think it's good because it allows, it doesn't allow people to get salty, no pun intended. It doesn't allow people to get salty and get all upset and get discouraged from playing and things like that. So I think it's a good job on Pastor and Risto to do that. So.
It'll help with scouting too for the random guys who just sign up with all their friends.
It's like an extra scouting game, really, if you think about it.
That's exactly what I was just
You get to see everybody everywhere. Like, if you see a whole CHL lineup that nobody knows about except for CHL GMs, and they all sign up for the AHL, like, boom, there's a line for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, what I was just going to say was, now it's the perfect time for him to start that, because obviously going into a new game, end of the season, you got guys that are going to be moving up to the A, to the N with draft next year, and just being amateurs. So it'll be nice for us as managers in the AHL to actually get to see this talent, and even other AHL players to be able to be like, oh yeah, that guy, I remember him from whenever he was a somewhat decent player. Like, check him out and let people know. Good for that. And compared to Friday Night Puck, where you draft a team, and if you don't draft the top players, if you're a manager, you get absolutely destroyed by the NHL community because they think they're top shit. Like, for example, yesterday when I was playing Friday Night Puck, I had first overall pick, but I wanted to do it just with some buddies. I didn't want to go out there and be like, oh yeah, I want the top, most competitive, best players.
You say your buddies are not top players? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, hold on. Back that train up. What are you saying about me, Buck?
Well, faces, I picked him first overall. That says everything.
Oh, that's your first mistake.
That just means you know I'm the GOAT.
And then everyone was like, oh, he must have misclicked because there's so many better players than him. I'm like, there may be guys in the NHL that you think are way better than him, but I want to play with this guy because he's one of my buddies that I'll play with.
And his lips are really soft.
I'm really good on forward. That's salty. I was coning people last night in threes. That was fun.
You weren't any good. The rest of us were just really bad.
That means I'm good.
But with
people's victories and failures, I love it.
But as I was saying, with Friday Night Puck, you have to draft your team. As where it's Saturday Night Puck, you actually get to pick your team, and you can have it with your friends if you want to. You can make a stacked powerhouse team with the AHL and CHL guys. You just have more options with it, as where a draft you're kind of limited to what's there for you.
I mean, I have not played Saturday Night Puck once. So let me ask you something. Is there a pool of players that you can sign up, and if you're just making a team, you can pick them, or do you have to come with a preset roster?
You're supposed to come with a preset roster. So you sign up as a captain, you have to have a roster by 8:30 on Saturday.
All right.
It's so basically you choose your best club and friends and go out and play.
It's 8 guys, right?
Between 6 and 8. 6 roster, and you can have 2 spares, but it's not necessary.
Sometimes that better spare will be benched, and you'll get dumpstered the first game.
Oh, a wink.
Whoops.
I think I'd be more comfortable in a guy that took a season off playing goalie than having a goalie that has an 8 goals against average.
I was talking about on D, but damn.
Dang. Okay. We're doing this now? All right.
Let's nod and say we did.
Yeah. Sure. Let's go with that.
All right. Notorious, you got any closing comments for us today, buddy?
Do I? Sure.
Your co-host has been silent for most of the show. Where'd your co-host go?
Oh, she was a little bit grouchy. She had to go off to bed, so she didn't survive. Didn't survive the show. She survived. She's alive. Just didn't make through the show.
She got deported back to Ireland.
Yeah, she's gone.
All right. Faces, any closing comments?
I got my first shoutouts of the year. Shout out to the Hartford boys. Your boys fucking carried me.
No,
Nobody's
they
carried
didn't.
me.
You let in 16 goals when they played.
Yeah, the rest of the time they fucking carried me. They deserve a shout out.
All right. Dudley?
I'm not gonna get deported. I'm not gonna die. And you all can suck lemons.
Are you going to be here next week?
I don't know. I might be dead or deported.
Or accused of growing facial hair that makes you look very, very...
Yeah, because apparently you can't say the T word here, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I got another one. Hey Bryson, FGT means fucking great teammate. Stop being a pansy.
I do remember that last
Okay.
night.
All right then.
All right, someone's salty, no pun intended.
I said I called Tater an FGT and Bryson gave me a 30-minute warning group visit
For
for a homophobic slur.
yeah. But,
Oh,
and
there's the light bulb just went off for me. I just got it.
yeah.
Oh
Salty.
my gosh. Oh jeez. You guys are slow.
Sure. I'll close with. I'm going to shout out Faces, regardless of his first round catastrophe. He's the only one of us right now that's still left in playoffs.
Andy showed up here to face us, so good for you,
Sure.
Big.
Yeah,
Just
because
proves
the
I can
other
build
two
a team.
guys in the playoffs just decided to no-show tonight because superstitious.
Right.
I'm not superstitious. I'll come on here. I'll tell Craig that I'm going to shut him
Yeah,
out.
superstitious, all right. Yeah, no, he's doing press tours as Canadian Seth MacFarlane, trust me.
And Risto is nowhere to be found. He's currently 7
Yeah,
hours
because he
away
was
from
fixing
us.
dialogue.
So he's probably trying to search up new Buffalo jerseys to hang on his wall.
He's gonna go and buy a new Nikita Zadarov jersey. There you go.
And there's going to be an 8-inch jersey model to hang on his wall right behind him.
Yeah.
Right next to his Zach Bogosian jersey.
Yeah.
Someone, one of us should send him a Patrick Lalime jersey as a joke. See how much he likes that.
Might as well add in Pat LaFontaine.
No, you see, no, that's rewarding him. I would take a Pat LaFontaine jersey.
All right. So everybody, have a great week. Good luck in round 2 to the 8 teams that are left. Faces, you still suck, and we'll catch you guys next week in the round.
This is
3.
war, Craig. This is